Well, hello, my fellow sensitive people. It is I, your favorite Whimsy, here to do another tarot reading. This time, people have asked me if I would take a look at Canada, and I have been remiss. My apologies to my colleagues and friends and comrades in the North. I didn't mean to neglect you, but it appears that they are facing an election and the Conservatives are winning. It's actually Pierre Poilievre, according to the poll tracking, is at 41.9%, with Liberals only at 22.9%. Ouch. That means that Justin Trudeau is not doing well. Could be because they have split the vote again in Canada, and this is the problem when you have multiple parties, is that the Liberals will split the vote because you have the New Democrats with Jagmeet Singh taking 18.4% of the vote. You also have the Green Party taking 5% of the vote. Bloc Québécois, Francois Blanchette, Bloc Quebec, I guess that's the Quebec Party, took 7.7, and the People's Party took 2.8 of the polls. Basically, what that's saying is that the New Democrat, some of the more progressives, Green, split the vote. And what happens when you have this many parties, a lot of the times it can split the Liberal vote, and so you wind up with Conservatives in charge, even though the majority of Canadians are not necessarily all that conservative. So I thought it might be fun to kind of look at the future of Canada, particularly since so many Americans are joking that they're going to move to Canada to get away from Trump, only to find themselves with Pierre Poilievre, is that right? The conservative at the helm. So let's go ahead. Let's do the impasse prayer. Excuse me. And let's take a look. Okay. I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together, collectively, we say Amen. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to just look at the overall health of Canada over the next couple of months. How is Canada doing? The Conservatives could win well over 200 seats, and they're assured a winning majority, according to the data that's coming in. But how is Canada as a country? There is a huge Liberal bloc that's going to be fighting them. So let's take a look and see about the future of Canada. Don't worry. Can't be as bad as the United States. All right, the future of Canada under Conservative leadership comes to the Daddy. It's interesting that the base card came up as the Emperor, because the Emperor is a card that has to do with very yang energy. It's very much based on logic and reason, and also taking charge of situations, and has a kind of paternal feel to it. It's interesting that the karma card for Canada is the Three of Swords, which is heartbreak. And I don't know what that's about. It could just be that people are being, the problem with cable television is we used to not be this divided. It wants people to fight. And it could just be that the race itself and the fighting is causing a lot of heartbreak in Canada. Where you're at right now, your first house is Six of Swords. So despite the struggles that Canada is facing, and despite the fact that you may not be totally happy with who winds up in a situation of power, the truth of the matter is that Canada's future is actually pretty positive, because Six of Swords, if you look at swords the way I do, swords can be interpreted as years. And it's a card that denotes smoother waters laying ahead. So the future of Canada is actually really positive if we can get past this idea of conservatives and Democrats and progressives and liberals, and just look in terms of the whole of Canada. Six of Swords is quite auspicious. It's going out of a rocky situation to a smooth situation. And as I said before, swords are usually seen as years, whereas wands I interpret as months. So we're looking at a really positive direction for Canada in the coming years. And the crossing card for Canada right now is the Four of Wands, which means that they're building something new. Sometime around spring, April of 2025, we're seeing a lot of new construction, new development. Maybe they have a housing shortage in Canada like we do in the United States, and we're coming up with this new optimism. And this optimism is about building more stuff. Four of Wands is about starting new projects. It's auspicious. It's also a wand, so the fourth month can be an April card. I often see it as within a 4-month period, or April, which is the fourth month. And again, this would be indicating, I think that they're entering into a period of a lot of a building of homes. This looks like in the next 6 years, we're going to be seeing a lot of building. What is above them? Mastery, another auspicious card. Eight of Pentacles would be the workers hammering away and making something. So again, this energy feels like a tremendous amount of construction is going to be going on in Canada. Good for you. And what is below? 10 of Swords. It feels like a lot of the unhappiness in Canada has already happened. These cards seem to indicate that you folks have come out of a lot of difficult, have come out of a lot of difficult times, and that it's actually optimistic going forward, that it's not going to be quite as contentious as people had thought, and that all the focus is we need more housing, we need more housing, we need more construction. And a lot of the focus seems to be on that going forward. There is a real desire to curb spending. Temperance is all about sobriety, not being excessive, and being, trying to be physically conservative. And in terms of the future, we can see a tower. So there's major fight happening. This looks like it's, fighting in the streets. It could be just this frantic, desperate attempt as people fight to get as many seats as they can. You can see that heartbreak as people are not getting what they want. They're not getting the seats they want. And that tower in your parliament, just that fighting is coming in. But the nation as a whole is strong. If you look at your 7th house, you see you have in the 7th house the beautiful Strength card, and that is where you are environmentally. And so the immediate environment for the nation of Canada is actually really positive, because again, Strength would indicate that it's a strong country, it's a strong economy. I think you guys are going to be making money in oil, which you may have a problem with if you're more of an environmentalist. But what I feel is that this is going to be gas, oil, some kind of petrol is going to be profitable, and also construction. These are the main areas that they're focusing on. Natural gas, is that what it is that you guys are producing? But I'm seeing fuel being a main income source, and building construction. Your opposition, a new beginning. So it's a new beginning for liberals. It's a new beginning for labor, and it's a new beginning. It's like a reset for liberals, both in the United States and in Canada, in the sense that we have to pull back and try and figure out what we did wrong, what we're doing right, and how we can rebuild ourselves in ways going forward. Because that Page of Wands, again, is a springtime card. It's associated with the spring. I think there's a lot of activity that's going to be happening. Instead of this contention where we're fighting them as the enemy and we're the enemy, this is more a feeling of cooperation going forward in Canada. Hopes and fears. And again, it doesn't surprise me you wound up with the Lovers card here, because Lovers is about reaching across the aisle and making things work, even with those we do not want to have a relationship with. And the final outcome for sound judgment, quite auspicious. Again, this would indicate that people are working together rather than against each other. And that would be good for the overall country and probably great for the economy as well. The truth of the matter is, other than problems early on in the next couple of weeks, the future of Canada is really pretty great. It shows cooperation and the building of a strong economy. Like I said, real estate, natural gas seem to be pretty much a big part of their income. I also see them really focusing on the new green economy. Could be because they're focusing on their timber industry. A Seven of Pentacles is my card for harvesting the coin, renewable resources. And so that is also coming as the immediate environment for Canada in the coming years. The opposition, Six of Pentacles, wants to retain entitlement programs, what we are entitled to, right? Social secure, these sorts of things. The social services, Six of Pentacles is a social services card. It's about justice and caring for those who cannot care for themselves. This could be like drug rehabilitation programs, these kinds of programs that are offered to people who cannot care for themselves. Seems to be the main focus of the opposition of the conservatives. And then the hopes and fears that they will be wrapped up in red tape. So there is, like in the United States, a feeling when you go into Canada that the conservatives want to get rid of too much regulation. That's some of the regulation that's not helpful. And then the final outcome is healing comes over Canada. You can see Archangel Raphael, and that would indicate, again, it's quite auspicious. And it would indicate that healing and good things come to Canada. So while we may be frustrated or not happy that the conservatives are probably going to win, we have to look at the bigger picture. And from the perspective of the bigger picture, we're seeing a lot of cooperation, a lot of people working together. We do not see them cutting social services, but we do see them trying to focus on getting more revenue for Canada and more housing. We're also seeing that the liberals, that the labor, that the left will be able to retain many of the social service programs that they had been concerned were going to be cut going forward. So overall, even though it may be a disappointment that the conservatives are winning in Canada, the strength here is something that I don't see in the United States. I see more cooperation going forward, a lot of housing being the focus, a lot of renewable resources being, look at this, it's awesome, and health and healing to the country. Overall, I know it's not the outcome that people in Canada want, but if you're asking me to make a prediction with these cards, a Six of Swords moving in, I would say the next 6 years for Canada are actually quite good. And I predict that your economy will be doing very well and that you will be producing a lot of stuff. And I also see a lot of small businesses exploding and taking off in Canada as more and more grants for small businesses are being granted and more promotion and support for small businesses, which I think is something that's going to be really good for Canada. All right. Not what we wanted, having the conservatives take hold, but it looks like the cooperation and the activism by the left is going to really still move the country in a really positive direction. All right. Thank you so much for watching this quick video on the future of Canada. If you're trying to get in for a reading with me, you can find the information below this video. You can just book me through Booksy, or you can ask a private question through Whimsy. All right. Be kind to all so that all will be kind to you too. God bless. Peace out. We'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.